I became aware of you about 10 years ago. I've been to one meeting, and life was going good. Had abundance, success, and good family, good marriage. And about 5 years ago, my wife had an accident. And our relationship changed in the event that I am the caregiver. I have caregivers that work with me, but I'm the one responsible.
Or I am the one most interested.
Okay. And I have a very high level of interest.
Yeah.
It's been a challenge. And one of the things that is the biggest challenge has been my feeling of guilt if I do something for me versus the option of spending all the time taking care of my wife.
Yeah.
I've always handled stress well. Prior to that, things were working very well prior to the accident. And the shift.
We're going to give you something that's going to be so helpful. You're really going to like this. And so just relax, because we're going to approach it a little differently than you might think, but you're really going to get it. Because of what you've been living, you will understand it perfectly. So everything that we've been talking about already was the precursor to the platform, the basis of this conversation that we're going to have right now. So you picked up with us on this part about getting into alignment with who you really are and then following those impulses. And we want to say to all of you that really, until you take the opportunity to meditate on Sunday and then Monday and then Tuesday and then Wednesday and really quiet your mind and feel yourself moving into a different day as each day unfolds, once you really start that, then everything that we're saying here, you're just going to have to take our word for it, which means it's not really going to be all that meaningful to you unless you've already had experience that confirms these words. But once you have the opportunity of getting into the receptive mode because of meditation and knowing you've done it, and then begin receiving impulses and knowing the difference. Now, we're just going to show you some examples. So Esther sat to meditate a few weeks ago and quieted her mind and felt that blissful feeling of detachment and that important experience of detachment and therefore no vibrational point of attraction really happening for a few minutes. And then a thought came into her mind, and it was such a strong thought that she would call it an impulse. And the impulse was about a furniture store. And it was so strong that she got right up, put her shoes on, gathered up her things, put them in her purse, and off she went. And when she got there, something that she'd been looking for was right there. And then she thought, when I meditate, I think my impulse should be about world peace or something important, but a piece of furniture? Really? Yeah, really. Whatever's in your vortex that you've been asking for, your inner being will give you the impulse, which is the path of least resistance. And of course, those are not the only impulses Esther receives, but they were some of the early ones that she began receiving once we began talking about thoughts turning to things. Now, this is the reason that we're giving this to you in this sort of seeming long way. When an impulse comes and it feels really, 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 really good, you can know for sure it came right from your inner being in answer to the things that you're asking for, and that it is a step toward your fulfilling yourself. And unless you are fulfilling yourself, you're not going to be feeling any satisfaction. So of course, there are so many intentions that you have in your vortex regarding many things, and especially regarding the caregiving to your wife, especially about that. But as impulses come, they're going to come on a lot of different levels about a lot of different things, and you'll get better and better and better at receiving them. They come all the time. But here's what happens to so many of you. Many of your impulses come from this manifested world that is a lot about need. It's about what I need to do. You use the word responsibility. It's about, if I don't do this, then this unpleasant or uncomfortable thing will happen. Well, when your impulses come from that, they're not coming from this pure place. And while you might satisfy something to a certain extent, there's no replenishing in it. And after a while of operating too much from those kinds of impulses, the replenishing mode is sort of shut down. Your intuitive mode is sort of shut down. And your joy mode is sort of shut down too. So when you have meditated and the impulse comes, then follow that impulse, and after a little while you'll begin to see that your sensitivity, your timing, all of these things really improve. Now still, we're just giving you the basis of what we really want you to hear, and we're happy to acknowledge how well you received everything that we said just now so far. But this is the piece that we want you, all of you, to hear. You are more practiced at feeling for an impulse from someone else than you are from your own inner being. You all give yourself away far too much and then resent it. And it's because you are not fulfilling your connection, you're not receiving your true impulses, which would lead you to all of those wonderful places too, just with a stronger, more replenishing energy stream. Not for a moment would you do less for your wife. Not for a moment would you abandon her or do less for her. You're just going to stay in the replenishing mode, and your timing and everything else is going to be better. And so in short, what we're saying is you got to care about following the impulses that feel good to you rather than following the impulses that feel good to someone else. It's big. It's really, really, really powerful, deliberate creating. But you're really, really going to like it when you get there.
Really good.
Really good.
You've been talking about impulses and receiving thoughts, and that has been my life.
And before you go further, just briefly, let's call those impulses inspiration. When they come from your vortex, let's call the impulse inspiration. When it comes from struggle and worry, let's call it motivation.
Okay. Thank you for that. So let me backtrack. I've been listening to you for 2 years now, 2.5 years. And at that time, I was at a stage where I wanted to gather more knowledge and know what is out there that can help me. And I've been gathering knowledge and, listening to a lot of people, including Abraham. And that was my desire at that time. And I got that desire fulfilled. I was really satisfied. And by using that knowledge, I have been able to have a lot of manifestations which have been so satisfying to me during the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a stage where I have a great life, a rich, abundant, joyous life that I wanted to have. So I'm at that stage right now, and I get into Vortex a lot more often now than before. I can say almost 20% of the time I am able to be in the Vortex at that high-flying disc, and I love it. I just love momentum. And during those times, when I'm in the Vortex, either during that time or when I just come out of it, I receive these great ideas. I receive these ideas which I feel can make a big difference in the world, can also make a big difference in my own life.
Yes.
And I want to execute on those ideas.
Yes, but don't jump too far ahead, because you get dissatisfied, because we can feel that building even as you're speaking that. So you get the impulse, you receive the thought, you translate the thought, you receive the thought of what you want, and the why is embedded within that. So what and why, intoxicating and satisfying. But if you ask too soon, how, where, when, who, then you introduce resistance into it, and you don't allow it to naturally progress in the way it will. So that's why we want you to be satisfied to keep receiving and not be too ready to jump into action until you're all the way over there where the action is just so compelling and so obvious.
Yes, I agree with that. And I was going to say that I revel in those moments when I get those thoughts and inspiration.
Yes.
Because it feels so satisfying and it feels great. And I know I'm not ready for the execution right now.
But you see, the thing that we really want to emphasize, because you've said it so well, is that it feels great And we say, then let it be enough for a minute. That would be like sitting in this wonderful place and eating this wonderful food and then saying, ooh, I wish I was over there eating that food too, and over there eating that food too, over there and eating that food too. And we say, just eat this and like it. Just eat this and like it. Let this satisfy you. Let this satisfy you.
But I want manifestations to happen because
We
I
know
love
you do. This is the conversation that we have with Esther. We know that. But this is the new emphasis that we're wanting you to feel, because we're teaching you how to gain control of the molding of your energy and what happens to you that gets it out of control. When you receive that impulse and you jump too quick to words or action, before you're vibrationally ready for it, then it doesn't work out that well, and then you get discouraged. Where if you can stay satisfied and then satisfied and then satisfied and then satisfied.
I agree. And I was saying that I know that I'm not ready for the execution part right now, because if I was, it would happen. And I would really feel it, and I would just do it.
On some subjects you are. You were ready for the execution part of having and coming to conversation with Abraham. You were ready for that. Every now moment is a manifested moment. And what is manifesting in this moment is about your mix of vibrations. Don't you want to know what your mix of vibrations is? So if you want to know, there's two ways to know. One is by what's manifesting. That's post-manifestational awareness. And one is by how you feel. If you can be satisfied with feeling satisfied, if you can feel satisfied with feeling satisfied and not get your cart before your horse, let it unfold, then and only then will you be one who lives happily ever after. And this is an important thing. We're just going to lay it out here so that you can really hear it. You're never, ever going to stop having a manifested moment that isn't putting more in the vortex. Every single manifested moment has enough contrast within it. That's your part of the bargain. Is going to have enough contrast in it that it's going to cause an increasing of the vortex. So if you don't pretty soon get used to not having everything in your vortex manifest all at once, and you really wouldn't like it any more than you'd like to eat all your food for the year today, you would not like it all to manifest all at once. So if you can accept that you're constantly adding to your vortex and it's constantly giving you feedback, and you become comfortable and relaxed and satisfied with the rhythm of that, then you can live happily ever after. But if you are dissatisfied with only this puny vibrational awareness of positive emotion, sarcasm doesn't play well, does it? And you need full manifestation that everyone can witness before you're satisfied, then in the absence of this satisfaction, there is an absence of receiving, and your impulses will cease. And then you will be like most of the world. You will be relegated to walking over here into the manifested world and banging it out just like everybody else, and complaining about who's doing what to who and why that doesn't work, and it's your fault that I'm not satisfied, and it's your fault that I'm not satisfied, in your endless and futile need to control circumstances in order to produce positive emotion. Oh, that was so good. You have to be able to figure out how to produce positive emotion within yourself unconditionally. Otherwise, the conditions can't manifest. If you need them to manifest and they haven't yet, and you stand over here and instead of being satisfied with the way you feel, instead you're looking and therefore evaluating and then foreseeing the absence of the manifestation, your awareness of its absence ceases the connection and ceases the progress and relegates you to the unhappy experience of having to bang it out just like everybody else. Big things come by using the energy that creates worlds. There's a leverage in that. But even more important than the power of it, which is huge in what it produces, there's the joy in it of being in alignment with who you are.
Thank you.
Really good conversation. Our favorite one ever.
Thank you. And I have a request of you. As I said, I just love momentum. Would it be possible for you to do a rampage?
Just did.
Okay. Thank you.
Just did.
Thank you.
Yeah.